Hey guys, yeah, apparently I'm going to be early. YouTube and OBS seem to have set this up as scheduled, and then I tried to change the time, and it did change the time. So I have no idea why it's never done that before, but um, weird. Hey Digger, hi Josh, hi Tim, hi everybody. Hope you're all well. Can you hear me? Am I coming through? Okay. So apparently I'm going on early. A lot of people that come in 3:30 are going to be surprised. But I'll just kill a little time. It's been a much calmer week, although Joyce's brother Tom's funeral was Monday, and we just got back from the internment. Tom was cremated, and so took a few more days. Chris Hale's funeral was today, and his daughter Carol posted a message on Chris Hale's channel. I don't know if anybody checked that out, but she was thanking everybody for the support, which was nice. Um, so we got Andy and Digger, Josh W56, one of a few Joshes we get. Um, we got Tim and no mountains in York either. Well, you'll have to make that joke when Joyce comes here and see if she reaches through the screen and hits you. But yeah, so we just got back a little bit ago from her brother's interment, so that's finally now we can go forward. We can move on. Um, the weird thing for me is that I retired back in June, and that was the emotional sort of insanity going through the process of retiring and walking out. But I've been saying all along, it wouldn't, this felt like a normal summer. Well, what had been a normal summer. Joyce and I were able to travel in June for the first time since 2019. That beautiful trip to the UK where we met so many people, including Chris and Tim and Alan and Jim at Hovermotion, Lee and Jackie in Liverpool, Philip Page on the platform in Wigan, and all the people we met, Leslie, Andrew McDonald from March West Junction, Robert from Robert's Train Set, Leslie Gilpin, if I didn't mention Leslie, Robert from Trains in the Attic, Richard from Trains in the Attic, sorry, got Robert on my Robert Trains. Alan Wiles came down, Carl Braun from Bang Gotcha Junction. Um, we met a lot of people there, but man, that trip feels so long ago already. It feels like it was last year or 2 years ago because so much has happened in the last 2 months, and it's really weird because Joyce basically feels like she was gypped out of a summer. But anyhow, it was a normal summer break for us in terms of length and what we do. Joyce went to a couple of in services. I didn't go to any, but I often don't, or just sit online and listen while I play something on the TV. But we didn't. Hey, Mick, welcome in. Hey, there's Mark from Model Railway Fantasia. Buongiorno to Chimera War Gaming, or ciao, whatever works for you. Kieran's here. Again, a belated happy birthday to you. You had a birthday earlier this week. But so Joyce went back to work on Wednesday. She went in. Wednesday was teacher's work day. That's the day before classes usually start. And you go in and set up your room. Now, Joyce had already gone into her classroom a couple of times last week when she had time just to get things going because you really can't just go in the day before. You have to go in a few times to start getting everything set up, get the new curriculum, any new textbooks, any new worksheet, all that stuff. And that was last week was where I began to realize, hey, I think I'm retired, because I would have gone into my classroom at least once and spent part of a day there just getting all my stuff out and looking at my class list and all that, and I didn't do that. But when Joyce went back in on Tuesday for or Wednesday for teacher work day, that's where it really hit me. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going into work, but it still felt like I was playing hooky. Plus, I was babysitting my grandson, and I love doing that, but it kind of takes away from, yeah, I'm free. And then yesterday I babysat Cayenne all day. So today was the first day where I didn't have any morning obligations. I didn't have to get up. Joyce has gone into work. Now, again, normally she would have had students yesterday and today, but our school system, because we have a shortage of teachers, a lot of teachers quit. A lot of teachers have retired because of all the insanity, the government, the state regulations, not the federal government, the local state, because they are pushing their um, they're blurring the lines of what we're allowed to teach and what we're not allowed to teach, and what we're allowed to say and not allowed. And a lot of teachers have just had enough. Um, Joyce wants to teach science, not pseudoscience, and we're tired of all the extra work that the state throws on us on top of our daily teaching stuff. See, I keep saying we, even though it's not me anymore. But so Joyce won't have her students till Monday. But yeah, it was like the last couple of days, it's really hit me. Yeah, I'm really not going back, and it's actually it's a good feeling. But my body, after 36 years, I'm conditioned. My brain is thinking I need to be in my classroom and I need to be preparing lessons. For 36 years, my brain has been conditioned to that. And then you take on top of that, since I was 3 years old, I've been in school and had to get up and go. This is the first time in 55 years I don't have to get up and be anywhere. And it's a weird feeling, but it's a good one. Hey, speaking of Richard, there's Richard and Lee. Hey, I mentioned their names, they show up. Hey, Clive is here. Hi, Clive. How are you? Yes, I'm early. Hope people don't mind. I just was screwing around trying to set up my OBS and accidentally somehow clicked it as going live at, I think it said it was 7:47 at your time, and then I changed it to 3:30, and then I was trying to take it off, like, no, it shouldn't, oh well. So I just said to screw it, and came on. So yeah, a lot of friends welcome me to the club, and to some people I'm young to retire, but I've earned this, and I make no apologies. It's nice, and it'll be nice once I develop my retirement routine. I've got things planned, things I'm going to do each day. I am going to start working on the layout a bit here once I can sit down and really decide how far I'm going to, because I'm going to rip some track out over here. Let's see, which view would be best? Probably the long view. Being that one. Okay. And I'm a teacher, so I got my pointer. But I'm ripping out a bunch of track over here. I'm just going to replace it. I'm going to remove some of those turnouts over there. You can see, let me point out the bad ones. These are the bad turnouts that have been causing problems here and here. These are long, narrow turnouts. So those are those long, narrow turnouts. I'm replacing those, but it's going to change the track dynamics, the angle at which it's going to create different spacing in here. So I'm going to have to rip back, and plus I want to move these. I'm going to replace this turnout as well, maybe this one, but I want to move this back a bit, and then this turnout might move further this way, depending on how it all shakes out. I want to move this turnout back a bit, and just move all this a little bit back. So I'm going to probably have to rip out to at least here to line it all up and get it straight. So I'm going to be ripping all that out, and plus all this has to be redone, which means those platforms over there are going to get taken out, but I was going to change those out anyhow. So that is that's one of the big changes that I've got to talk myself into doing. And I've been talking all year about doing it. And now that, and I said I would get to it when I retired, and I said it'd probably be the fall before I actually got to it. My daughter works from home, and when she's working from home, she's not out on a job. And when she's out on a job, she can't always get things done with her son. So I watch Kyan when she's doing those things, which is great. But I can't work on these things when Kyan's down here because Kyan wants to help. And Kyan also wants to see trains running. So it's going to be when I have days without it and go from there. But that's what the big things. I do have a hatch. You can see that pink area. I don't know if it shows up pink on your screens, but there's a pink area right here. There's a hatch there that I can crawl up and access everything in there. So it's easy to do, especially since I've lost all this weight. And I'll just start ripping out track and trying to see how it all realigns. I might lose a lane. I might wind up getting rid of that one interior little mini loop and go down to only 5 trains running. Call for network rail. Yeah, I don't think they'd come across the Atlantic and help me there. But anyhow, so that's sort of some of the plans. And then I've got a new station to go in there, but I need to paint it. And so all that's going to be completely redone. And then I still got to figure out how to 3D print the Delmenhorst Town Hall and Water Tower and Market Square so I can put that in. I'm also going to try to put the Fowler car in, but I really need to get that Delmenhorst Town Hall in. I'm just at wit's end as to the best way to do it. Hey, Dwight Curley, how are you? Hey, Stefan Skoll, how are you? Nice to have you here. So now, let's go ahead and get back to what I'm working on now. Got a few things. I had a small mail call. I didn't save the box for today to do a live opening. Maybe I could have. Might have made the show a little more interesting. I picked up 2 left-hand turnouts. So I've now picked up 6 right-hand, but I've also picked up 2 left-hand turnouts because I'm thinking of doing something here. I've got a couple left-hand turnouts. I still need to get decoders for these, although I've got a backload of decoders and motors, so I might be okay. I just think, my brain thinks I might need one, but I don't know. Hey, Leslie's here. Hi, Leslie. Welcome in. Nice to see you. But, so I got those. So a couple of, and these are the standard turnouts, switches, points, whatever you want to call them. I just let the train people argue them. Everybody argues. It's, we all talk about the great community, but man, bring up a topic and the community will go into civil war. They're not points, they're switches. They're not switches, they're turnouts. They're not turnouts, they're points. And everybody goes. Now, I bought this empty box because I really liked it. No. I bought another Czech EC BMZ wagon. I bought a Czech EC, and it's currently running. In fact, it is, which camera? I'll do it real quick. Let's go 11 lane. But it's right here. So it looks just like the others, so there's nothing special. It looks like the rest of them here, these second-class cars. So I'm only one more second-class car away from this being a proper 8-car consist. But the place I bought it from only had one. But that's okay. Nobody's had one for a while. So that this place had one, I jumped for joy. So that was awesome. Hey, Jackie, how are you? And woof woof to Lucy. And so, oh, I also picked up a few more Miraklin standard connectors. These are the Relics, but not the Telex. There's Telex and Relics. These are not the traditional Miraklin, but these are the Relics here. They didn't have telex in stock, but I just needed a few more connectors, and this matches the Roco and the ESU and the Pico connectors, and so I needed a few of these. I've still got a few Miraklin connectors. I don't know if you can see, that's the Miraklin telex connector, which is a little different. Although they do interlock, they don't always hold well depending on whose. And then the last big deal is this guy. I bought this guy, 36202. 36202. This is a new locomotive, so yes, Hot Dog Pilot, you are correct. I do, in fact, have a new loco here. In fact, it's right here. Let me get this out for you. I have not run it in because I didn't have time to run it in. Well, I had time this morning and I didn't because I've already got trains set up for today and I didn't want to take trains off to run this guy in. This is it. This is a unique locomotive for me because this was built by the Czech company Skoda. Skoda Works. If you guys know your World War I and World War II military history, you know Skoda made weaponry for the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Skoda Works. They made cannons and so forth for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And then they made stuff for the Czechoslovakia from 1918 until Germany. And then Germany turned the Skoda Works into cannon and tank making facilities for the Wehrmacht in World War II. And then, of course, Skoda makes cars and Skoda makes locomotives. So this was a Skoda. In Germany, it is a Class 102. Now, Miraklin, and this is a Miraklin. Now, this is also lightweight. This is one of their kind of El Cheapo ones. It still has like 23, 24 sound and light functions. I'm going to do a video on this and put it out later this week. And hopefully, I've got a few videos I want to make this weekend. So we'll see how many I actually get done and get out. But this is a Skoda. Now, I'm going to flip screens here. So if you bear with me, I'm going to flip screens. And Miraklin made 3 versions of this locomotive. They made the standard version, which is on the right. That's the standard Czech, and it's called the Class 380. In the Czech Republic, it's called the Class 380. And this is now one of their primary passenger rail locomotives. But they also made a special Czech celebration of 100 years of the creation of Czechoslovakia, 1918 to 2018. So they made a special Czech flag one. I always wanted this one. And I never bought it. And now I can get it on sale, but I elected to get the Deutsche Bahn one because I've got Czech locomotives. In fact, that's another big story coming up. Now, I paid $257 for this. And yes, if you're looking at the prices of Miraklin locomotives, you could see the special Czech edition one because this is limited. That would be about 260 pounds. Yes, German locomotives and German models are more expensive than the UK stuff. When you guys in the UK complain about prices, they kind of fall on deaf ears for those of us that do German locomotives because your prices still aren't, they're catching up, but they're still not near the continental market. But then again, I think these are built better than your standard Bachmann or Hornby. Definitely better than Hornby right now. Sorry, Hornby fans. But anyhow, so I bought the Deutsche Bahn because it gives me another regional locomotive to go with my various regional trains. So I went with that one. I kind of wanted the Czech flag one, but I didn't buy that one. All right. Hey, Andrew T is here. How are you, sir? Hey, GWR Buckley Junction is here. Let's see, did I miss anybody else? Hey, Christopher is here. Hi, Christopher. Sorry, I was babbling with that stuff. Kiwi Dave, live from New Zealand, is here. Nice to have you. Oh, that's why I've got two different screens cut here. I'm getting, that's driving me crazy. There, what if I do it that way? That might work even better. Hey, Simon and John A. Dawson, just dropping by for a bit. Thank you. All the way over from Canada. To give you a shout. Okay, so anybody getting ready to Cato track? GWR Buckley Junction's looking for Kato. Kato. I said Cato because everybody says Cato. It's Kato. It is Japanese, so the A is pronounced Kato. So anyhow, that is most of the news. The other big news is I don't have it here because it's in a box right now, and I got to take it to the post office, I think, tomorrow, if not Monday. My guy in California said he was willing to take the challenge, and he's going to try to take my Czech 371, that Acme Italian one. I can't show you the box because it's boxed. He said send it to him. He might be able to pull it off and convert it even without the parts. So I'm going to send it out to him. And he said he would only charge me if he did it. I told him I'll pay him for his trouble anyhow. But maybe go ahead and throw a better decoder in it than what it's got. But be that as it may, I'm shipping that out, and he's going to do that one. So in a couple of months, give or take, depending on how quickly I ship it out to him, in a couple of months, 3 months maybe, I might have that Czech, beautiful, gorgeous Czech Class 371 locomotive running on this layout, and that would be awesome. Well, anyhow, it is 3:20, so I've already babbled a bit. So why don't I go ahead and let some trains get running. I don't really have a theme today. Sometimes I have a theme, sometimes I don't. But I've got the class, the IC1, not ICE, IC. But this time it's being pushed by that gorgeous Deutsche Bahn Museum celebration locomotive, a Class 101, gorgeous locomotive. I am running the ICE3, which you can see below me going past. I'm running my Czech EC, but with the German Class 101. Because that was originally going to be a theme. I was going to get all 5 of my 101s out and have all my trains pulled by different Class 101s, and I didn't do it. Partly because one still needs fixed, and the other one I just didn't want to deal with it in case it was acting up. So I have two 101s on the layout right now. My nose is absolutely itchy. Changing weather, I guess. Hey, Rick, welcome in from Rick's Railroad. But anyhow, let's see, who'd I forget? Oh, I've got a Class 187 pulling freight, just a few tankers, and if Danny from South Line, Southern Line comes in, I added his tanker that he gave me on there. That's going well. I've got the Czech Railjet running in a short consist. The Czech Railjet is flying around here. Well, not flying around. And then way over, let's see if we can get a good camera on it. I don't know which is the best cam. Maybe the Joyce view. We'll go there. There's the Czech Railjet coming through. And if you look behind it in the back, I've got my Rheingold. So I am running a steamer. I've got a freighter, a steamer. I don't have anything diesel running today. I guess I could have done something diesel, but I didn't. But there's that Czech rail jet running through again. Stefan, yes, I have ridden on ICE 1, ICE 2, and ICE 3. And I was supposed to ride an ICE 4 in 2019, but the train got canceled and we had to ride an ICE 1 instead. So I've ridden on every generation of IC and ICE in Germany except ICE 4. I've ridden ICEs many, 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 many times. I traveled to Germany every year from 2003 to 2016 with students, and then 2017 and 2019 it was just Joyce and me when my exchange program ended. So yeah, we rode ICEs a lot. Whenever we went to Berlin, which was every single year with the students, we rode ICEs. Whenever we went down on special trips, which was every year except the first 2 years, whether we went to the Rhine or we went down to the Alps to Garmisch, we rode the ICEs. And then when we went to Dresden, we rode an ICE. But then when Joyce and I went to Dresden on our own, we rode the ICE 2. And then we've ridden the ICE 1. So pretty much every class of German passenger train Joyce and I have ridden on since 2003. We've ridden on every type of passenger train, every diesel variation, electric variation, not steam, okay, but the current modern stuff. The only thing we haven't ridden is an ICE 4, and we will be doing that next June. Hey, hi, Lindy. How are you? Kayed! Opa! Yeah, I was having troubles, Lynn, so things went goofy. So I wound up starting early. Yeah, now again, I can't speak for shipping to the UK because the UK has tax rules and everything on importing stuff from other countries that I don't understand. But Model Bond Shop Lipa is cheaper for me than going to a local, and there isn't a local, but if there were a local, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than buying in the United States. Whether I buy online or go to a local shop, I get stuff at a much discounted price buying from Lipa. Now, having said that, this locomotive I did not buy from Lipa. I bought it from AJC Kids, which is in Texas, and they are one of my favorite American shops. Excellent customer service. It's actually AJ and C Kids. Annie, Jewel, and Charlie, and Kids. Because it's a big multi-shop. He runs a hobby store. She runs a florist and house decoration shop. And they have just one big shop in it. But I think he's Ken. I want to say he's Ken. He's actually Dutch. He's Dutch. So it's Annie, Jewel, Charlie. I'm sorry, I called Charlie. He's Charlie, not Ken. And then a guy named Ken works there. But Charlie's Dutch. And they go, he actually goes to Europe on his own and will fly stuff back on his own charter plane. But they're excellent customer service. Their prices are very competitive with American shops. But they were the only American shop that had this locomotive. And the only reason I decided to buy it was I really wanted this car and the turnouts. And I needed to buy a couple of things I was going to buy from Lipa. But then I decided I wanted the red variation. Lipa didn't have it, so I bought my turnouts. This would have been cheaper if I bought it from Lipa, but Lipa didn't have that one in stock. Hey, there's Joseph and Joe. Nice to have you fellas in here. So, yeah, Lipa, I get stuff and I get it faster. I did a video about that a long time ago. That, I know everybody says support your local shop, support your local shop. Well, I'm justified. I don't have a local shop. The closest shop that sells American is 2 hours and 15 minutes away, and he doesn't sell a lot of modern age stuff. Now, Joyce and I go to his place twice a year and just buy track or Christmas locomotives or some scenery in that just to support this guy. It's a small shop, but he really doesn't sell a lot of modern era 6 stuff. So he sells all the American track. So if I ever need to stock up on track, I tend to just drive over there and buy. But locomotives and all the other stuff, I buy from Lipa because it's cheaper and I get it faster. I will get a locomotive from Lipa at least a month, if not sooner, than it appears in the United States at the American shops. It's in the German shops 4 to 6 weeks easily before it shows up in American shops. And the American shops mark up the price to cover the import cost. So for me, I save per loco, it's anywhere from $30 to $80, sometimes $100 per loco. Okay? In a hobby that can be expensive, $30 to $100, that's a lot of moolah. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of cash on a loco. So there, I'm going to put that over there, and that way this is not messing me up. Yeah. And the Canadian import and customs laws, especially with Brexit now, are just, it's crazy. They punish you for buying overseas. The American markup is not horrible. The import duties, the American markup is not horrible, but basically they sell their stuff at manufactured suggested retail price. We call it MSRP. You guys call it RRP. In the UK, you call it RRP. We call it MSRP here in the United States. Hey, EFO is there. Stefan, in my opinion, it's just age. The ICE ones are older, so their seats, even though they replace them, they run a little rougher. The trains run a little rougher. They're older. They're 35 years old. Almost 40 years old, the ICEs in Germany. So the ICE ones that still run and the ICE 2s, they're very good. The Germans keep the seats, but the ICE 3 is more comfortable and runs smoother. It also runs faster. The ICE 3 is the fastest of the bunch. Even the ICE 4 cannot, I don't think the ICE 4 can top out at the same speed the ICE 3 can. I could be wrong on that. EFO may correct me. Well, EFO, I don't know. It's, again, my shop, Lipa, chops it all back off. So I don't know how absurd American's pricing is. I mean, to be honest, I think ESU is absurd pricing, and they're $100 per loco more expensive. And I don't think their quality is any better than American. Brava is more expensive than American, but I think that the base quality of Brava is maybe slightly better than Märklin. Now again, Märklin's high-end expensive models, the quality is there. I think, I think Brava only, basically Märklin does high-end and everywhere in between. where Brava just does middle to high end, mostly quality stuff. Brava doesn't have a cheap line. So I am, and then there's the Swiss companies that, well, anything Swiss is just automatically a ridiculously horrible price. I could have my information wrong on that, Stefan, but I believe that the ICE4's top end speed was 280 kilometers an hour, and the ICE3 can go 300. The fastest I've ever been on an ICE was an ICE3 from Hamburg to Berlin, and it was going 250 kilometers an hour. Oh, you've got the Class 66 from ESU and you really like it. I have never bought an ESU Loco. I watch my German channels, and some guys say that their new system that works both AC and DC, 2-rail and 3-rail, their locos are now designed, you just flip a switch and add an attachment and it's ready for 3-rail. But I've had guys say that there's faults in them, that they haven't perfected the system yet. But all I know is I've got some ESU rolling stock. That's the crappiest rolling stock I've ever bought. And I won't buy ESU rolling stock again. And a lot of people are now saying that ESU's electronics. There was a time where ESU's lock pilot and lock sound were considered top of the market, that they were the best in the business. And now more and more people are like, they're not as good. Zemo has passed them, and this company has passed them, and these guys have passed them, where ESU was. And I think what's happened is ESU has put a lot of their focus on making rolling stock and trains, and their electronics department, their electronics division, maybe has suffered. That's an opinion, not based on fact, just what I'm reading and seeing other people saying. Yes, the Japanese bullet trains are faster. The Chinese high-speed rail is faster. Yeah, Hog locomotives are ridiculously priced. In fact, I believe my Model Bond Shop Lipa stopped carrying them because they weren't selling them. Yeah, it's tough to see because I don't own Hornby and I don't own Bachmann. Bachmann doesn't really make, as far as I know, any Central European-based product. It's United States and UK primarily, USA, Canada. And I don't know what's happened with Hornby, but I'm seeing the rebellion building. There is a lot of anger at Hornby right now. And there are some guys that are Bachmann people to begin with. They're pro-Bachmann. They don't like Hornby, they like Bachmann. We have that. We have people that, they prefer Roco over Meriklin. Meriklin's not any good. Roco's better. And I'm not into that. I have never bought a Roco locomotive that has disappointed me. I've never bought a Meriklin locomotive that's disappointed me. Pico, I've had a couple disappoint me. But there's definitely a loyal audience for Hornby in the UK, and some of them think the criticisms are a little bit harsh, but others are really coming out bashing Hornby right now. The new owner, I think his name is Simon, and am I correct? I forget his name. Obviously, he has gone muy bueno crazy, because the jack up in price should show a jack up in quality. And if you're using 20, 30, 40-year-old molds that don't cost you anything to mold, and then you're jacking up the price and the quality is still low, then you've got a bad business model. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Oh, let's go to 11.9. Hey, Wigwam Workshop is here. Oh, Simon Kohler is not the owner. What is he then, Leslie? Okay, so Bachman owns Lilliput. But I will, to me, whoops, let's not do that one. To me, there's a difference. Lilliput was its own company, and Bachman bought them and added it to their collection. So yes, they don't. Bachman doesn't make it because they own Lilliput to make it. But Lilliput still kind of sets their own modeling standards and blah blah blah. Bachman, it's, how do you explain it? I don't know how you explain it. It's like Disney now owns the Marvel movies. But when Time Warner and the people who own Marvel sold it out to Disney, there was a contract between Disney and the Marvel Studios that basically Disney has hands off. That Kevin Feige and a group of people decide who's going to direct the movies, who's going to star in them, what songs they're going to use in it, because Disney keeps trying to interfere and say, we want this because we want to sell this to teenage girls and we want this. And you saw what Disney did to Star Wars. George Lucas gave Disney full reign with Star Wars, and Disney crapped all over Star Wars. Those 3 sequels were not what they should have been, and it was pure Disney garbage. It's like they took the original Return of the Jedi and said, can we make even worse movies? And so, in a lot of cases where Bachman owns a company, that company still kind of has a little bit of independence on design, and so it's not necessarily Bachman making it and sticking a Lilliput name on it. It's Lilliput makes it, but Bachman gets a cut on the profits. Oh, you went to Renaud's, Ifo. Oops. I want to see what that is. Don't get you started on that subject. Oh, the micro meta kits. Okay. Yeah. Now see, Renaud's is supposedly the big American European model store. But their prices, well, there's one place in Florida, Micro Macro Mundo World, that's probably the most expensive. Although Micro Macro Mundo also claims they're bigger than Renaud's. But Renaud's, that link that Ifo put up, that's the big American outlet for European trains. There's several on the East Coast, but Renaud's claims they're the biggest. Although in Florida, Micro Macro Mundo claims they're bigger than Renaud's. The problem with Renaud's is their customer service is all over the place. You go to buy something on their website and then they'll write you back, oh, we don't have this in stock, even though they listed it in stock. Their right hand doesn't know what their left hand's doing. Prices are not horrible, but AJC and Kids in Texas is better. Much more organized, much better customer service, usually lower prices. They don't have the selection Renaud's has, but I will buy from AJC Kids before I'll buy from Renaud's. I'll buy from a lot of shops before I'll buy from Renaud's, and I have bought from Renaud's. But I am not a fan of Renaud's. But it's like, you know, Rocco and Fleischmann now. Fleischmann was its own company and did a lot of its stuff. And one big company bought both of them. And what they finally did, I think beginning 2017 or 2018, Fleischmann is now just N scale and Rocco is HO scale. Rocco does the H, where Fleischmann used to do HO and N, and Rocco did HO and N. Now Rocco does the HO and Fleischmann does the N, which is really sad because Fleischmann's Profi Track was very highly desired. I know my friend Jim at Hovermotion is desperate for any Fleischmann HO Profi Track he can find. The Zetas Dalbanen. All right, John, thanks for stopping in. No, Bachmann did not buy Hornby. Bachmann and Hornby are two separate companies. All right, goodbye, Jackie. Thanks for stopping in. Ah, there's a link to it. But, yeah, it's just, you know, everybody has their biases. Everybody has their biases. You know, there are people that, like I said, I know people online and so forth that Märklin sucks. Märklin hasn't been any good since the 1970s. And Märklin quality did go down in the late 80s, early 90s as the family was going through bankruptcy and then had to sell off and blah, blah, blah. But I think since they were acquired by the Simba Corporation and Florian, now he's no longer in charge. He moved up and took over all of Simba Corporation. Florian Schaefer, I think his name was, he turned Märklin around. And I am lucky that I got into Märklin and modern Märklin product after he had been in charge because he turned Märklin around. He took Märklin from almost on death's door and he revitalized the company. And I think Märklin makes good stuff and I don't think the prices are horrible comparatively speaking. Now, Rocco on average is cheaper and Rocco makes great stuff. But I personally think on average, Märklin quality is higher than Rocco on average. Pico is all over the place. They have really expensive stuff and really cheap stuff. And their cheap stuff is garbage. I have bought two very inexpensive Pico locomotives and they were both crap. Hey, Randall's here. Hi, Randall. I hope you're doing well. Tom Couples has made it in. Poor David Cook would like to be here, but he is working. He works as a chef at a restaurant, and he is pulling all kinds of hours. And Colin, that's the other way. Did it backwards. Colin and David have both been letting me know they have been busy. Those are, along with Tim, those are some of my, and Christopher, those are some of my long-standing friends here. Now again, I mentioned it when I started early today, but if you didn't see, Carol posted on Chris's channel, Hales Heritage Railway, a thank you video for everybody saluting Chris and everybody else. Chris's funeral was today. the bottom detailing compromises. And see, Ifo, that's where, because I'm not a rail fan enthusiast. I'm not big into trains, and I'm new into the hobby. Little things like that just go over my head. I look at my ICE and I go, yeah, I notice it's a little shorter because it's 1/95th scale and not 1/87 scale. It's not true scale. But it looks like it looks like what I've ridden. My class IC coming above me, that IC, it looks like what I've ridden on. All right, Mark, take care. You got a busy day tomorrow. Because I think every company, to a degree, makes compromises somewhere. Where do you save it? Where do you do it? For example, my IC4, the detailing on it, the lettering on it is some of the cleanest, most beautiful lettering all along the bottom. The wagon numbers on it that I've owned on any locomotive. You know, when I look at my Roco, or my Pico, no, it's a Pico locomotive and Roco car railjet. No, they're all Pico. It's Pico Czech railjet. When I look at the Pico railjet versus the Pico Czech railjet versus the Roco, there's a definite difference in quality and style and accuracy. You know, the Austrian railjet just looks spot on, where you could definitely see the Pico railjet, the quality isn't the same as the Roco one in terms of accuracy to what it looks like out in the world. I can't speak to it. So it's been, but everybody either make compromises or they charge a fortune. You know, I know when Pico got their ICE, they wanted to beat Miraklin to the punch, so Pico got their ICE4 out almost a year earlier than Miraklin did. And Pico's was true 1/87 scale. It was gorgeous, beautiful detailing, and then it had all kinds of bugs in the system. There's so many people that about a year after buying it were like, you know, I should have waited for Miraklin. Now, having said that, my Miraklin IC4 motor car, the restaurant car, is making a little bit of sound, so I'm going to send that off and get it fixed. I am not happy about that. Yeah, I would agree with that, Ifo. I would agree with that. Hey, how are you, Happy Valley Hobbies? It is, and that's a problem when you're an American who buys European trains, especially from shops overseas. If you get a lemon, if you get something that's a little meh, then sending it back for repairs is not, well, it gets very pricey. But I own 80% of my stuff is Miraklin, and the only Miraklin I would say I'm really disappointed with is one I bought used. So it was probably a nice one, but it had sat somewhere and the gears got gummed up, and I cleaned it up, but it still runs inconsistently. I haven't run it in a month or so. I probably should get it out and run it. But yeah, now I will say that this Czech one, I'm concerned with this because it's lightweight. It's only 397 grams. So about just under a pound, just under an American pound. About 3/4 of an American pound, 80% of an American pound. You know, about 12 ounces, whatever that is. But it's only 397 grams. And you saw my big, strong pullers and pushers are 460 to 550 grams. That Brava 245 was 480 grams. That new one red, the Deutsche Bahn Verkehrswort Class 101 was 540 grams. The Deutsche Bahn is 540 grams. The Deutsche Bahn Museum is 530 grams. They're heavy and they're strong. This guy is kind of lightweight, so I don't know that he's going to do great pushing loads. That new American Class 143 was 480 grams. So they were all fairly heavy and strong pushers and pullers. These lighter weight ones don't like going up my incline very well, but I'll find out when I run them in. Did a Matt 54. You'd have to, I mean, I suppose I could Google it. Okay, there it is. So it was a looks like it was a big heavy duty guy that ran on Dutch, it looks like, Benelux nations. Oh, there it goes. Well, I agree, but I find, you know, not just there's something to the weightiness, and so far I have found my heavier locomotives are the smoother runners and the stronger runners and pushers and pullers, where the lightweight ones, the motor's not strong enough to go up the incline or pull a long rake of cars. Oh, there's 156 Andrew. If we had a choice, it depends on what our choices are, Andrew. Joyce and I plan on going back to the UK in 2024, and we want to go to parts of Scotland we didn't go to. We want to go way up to the north and to the Highlands. We want to see that for a bit. Probably skip Edinburgh this time. Maybe hit Glasgow. And then try to hit a couple of regions we missed. You know, the southeast area, we haven't sat down and decided yet. So I don't know if we would do it or not. He always asks me these questions I can't answer you. I don't know, Andrew. I've ridden on two trains in Scotland. Well, 3. One was an LNER, so that really wasn't a Scottish train. One was a Northern Line, that wasn't really Scottish. And then we rode a ScotRail train. That was it. So I've only ridden a Scottish train once. Rode the Scottish buses a few times in Edinburgh, but a bus is a bus. Yeah, probably because they had a limit. There is a very tight speed limit, Berlin to Dresden. Although they're changing that. They're building a new line. So there's kind of a... What I'm waiting for is the Berlin to Nuremberg line and the Dresden to Nuremberg lines. Well, not next year, the following year. Joyce and I are going back to Germany next year. Joyce and I are going back to Germany. I've missed Germany. It's been 4 years since we've been to Germany, and I want to go back. I don't want to offend all my UK and anybody else, but Germany is where I want to be. I love Germany. The trip to the UK was awesome. Don't ask me to compare, but it's time to get back to Germany. And yeah, the scenery from a lot of places. I mean, our ride from Edinburgh down to York was gorgeous. We had the ocean to the North Sea to one side for quite a ways. You could see the Yorkshire Dales off in the distance the other way. When we went into Scotland from Liverpool, it was beautiful. A lot of beautiful countryside. That's the nice thing about trains. You really get to see how pretty countries are. When Joyce and I drove from Dresden, or proper German Dresden, when we drove from Dresden down to Prague, we crossed a line of Czech mountains there and then got into the plains, and the mountains behind us and the plains in front of us was just beautiful. We hit this little plains area north of Prague, and you could just see forever, and it was so beautiful. It was just gorgeous. The mountains behind us and these plains in front of us, it was beautiful. Once you got through that section of the mountains, in German, the Erzgebirge, the ore mountains. So it just blows you away. I can't sit here and tell you what's the prettiest train ride. Joyce and I rode Mittenwald to Innsbruck. That was beautiful. Munich to Mittenwald or Garmisch, especially as you get into the Alps. Beautiful. I love the train rides going along the Rhine River, where you got the hills on either side, the castles on either side, and the train running next to the river. I love that section, especially South Koblenz and south, really Köln and south. And I say Köln, I don't say Cologne. I say Köln, I say it the German way. Yeah, the Washington, D.C. No, I'm not looking forward to any under ocean. Although, I don't know if there's any way over to Europe that doesn't give me the creeps. Flying is not fun. Taking a boat would be forever, and I don't know how seasick I would get. I don't know that I would get seasick. I don't tend to get motion sick. But the thought of hurricanes and storms on the deep ocean, that would be scary. I have a lot of places. Trans-Siberian from Vladivostok. Well, Joyce gets motion sickness, which is hilarious because that woman is always in motion. But she has to take a Dramamine. She has to take Dramamine before she gets on a plane, before she gets on a train. If she's taking a long trip in a car. For somebody who sits there and goes 20 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour in a rocking chair, she gets motion sickness on just about any vehicle. There's the EC. And there's the ICE. This is so much clearer. That El Cheapo is starting to struggle with focusing with so many trains going. I probably should trim that camera a bit. Hey, Lewis, how are you? Welcome in. Yeah, I do a lot of filming. I used to do a lot of filming from the trains when, because I would make movies of our trips to Germany for our students. I would make DVD sets for them. So they would get 4 to 6 hours of video of their trip to Germany, the different places we visited, and I always threw in some video of riding on trains. And again, it's riding on German trains that I'm into the hobby now. I love riding on trains. I would rather ride a train than drive a car now. And I love driving my car on the freeway. But, heck, just going to Joyce's brother's internment today. I wasn't even on the freeway, but I had 4 different people try to kill me and Joyce on the way. Just idiot drivers that, oh yeah, there's road construction up ahead. Well, I'm going to zoom at 80 miles an hour and then I'm going to shoot in front of you real fast because I'm running out of lane. Even though there's absolutely nobody behind me and they could have tucked in behind me. No, they're going to get in front of that one last car they can squeeze in front of. And if I turn on my turn signal, you have to let me in, right? Oh, so aggravating, but we all have that. Hey, Gage, how are you, man? Oh, you were stung by a wasp. Eek. Those are not fun. Let's look at that one for a bit. I don't show these big screens enough. Hey, Pierre, how are you? Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour, mes amis. Mon ami. I'm going plural. Mon ami. See, I got to get my French lessons back. Last time I spoke French was 2008 at Charles de Gaulle Airport. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. There's nothing there. They'll be back. Not a lot of scenery to see, but lots of trains, and you can even look on my two display shelves up there for all the guys not. Yeah, I've had a few people say they really like this view. You get close up, you get long distance. Yeah, I did not set up my GoPro today. It wouldn't take me but about 6-7 minutes to do it, but I did not set up the GoPro today. Who's on first? I don't know. Third base. Yes, I am running one steam engine today. You'll see it in the background here in a second. There it is. Yes, I am running a Rheingold. I'm running it as sort of a little mini Heritage Line special jaunt. That's one of my 2 Rheingold steam engines. That's the Bavarian state Rheingold, which is in the blue and cream, or should be blue and white for Bavaria, but it's blue and cream. Well, my grandson is home, and if he's not napping, he's probably watching right now. Joyce is somewhere upstairs. She should be coming down in a little bit. Hey, we're up to 30 viewers today. Don't forget to hit the like button, I'm supposed to say. Stand up! Damn ya! Oops. Oh, we don't want to do that. Hand of God! All right, let's move to a different camera. Yes, yes it is. It's pretty. That's all I can tell you, Ifo. It's pretty. It's from 2002. I bought that used on eBay last year Christmas. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for dinner yet. Other than it will not be made at home as far as I know. Although I could be wrong. see if I can adjust this guy just a little bit. There we go. Just gives you a little bit more view. Coming at you. Yeah, it's a tanker. And that's actually that Pierre, that one actually does not belong with my other trades because it's a UK tanker, although I'm sure it probably shows up in Europe too. But it was a gift from a friend in the UK, Danny, from South Line, Southern Line, gave that to me when we met back in June. And so I finally swapped out the couplers on it, so now it can run with my, it can run on. It's a little big because it's 00 scale instead of HO scale, but what the heck. But so yeah, I'm running a freighter. The only thing I'm missing is a diesel. Then I could have had one of my, a little bit of everything, because I've got electric and steam. I just need diesel. I've got passenger and freight. I've got high speed and regional trains going. Or are they all high speed? Well, even the EC is technically a high speed train. I guess the steamer counts as regional. Clive, yeah, Clive, because you're doing, you have a lot of American stuff too. I am heavily debating on looking at a Class 66. Meriklin released some a few years ago. There was one I really liked. I think it was HGK delivery that would have worked on my layout. HKG. I forget the company. All right, Digger, thanks for stopping in, man. Yep. And the others were, one was a private company that runs through Germany and other countries. One was Dutch. And I forget the third, but they made 4 of them. Now, there's other companies, like ESU makes a Class 66, of course. I'm debating whether I'd get a private company one. Hector Rail, that's the one I'm thinking of. There's Hector Rail one that Meriklin made. And Pico makes a couple. So I might do a private company one just to get a different livery than all the Deutsche Bahn, Verkehrsrot, red locomotives, just to get something that looks a little different. No. Hector Rail. HECTOR. I don't know if it's, I don't remember if it's 2 R's or if it's just Hector Rail or Hector Rail, you know. You can plug whatever you want. We're an open and free society here. You are allowed to advertise anything as long as it's not indecent or improper or illegal. Although if you want to advertise you're having a Coke party at your house with a bunch of Colombian drug lords, feel free to put it in. You're into sheds now. Evo, Miraklin makes a UK version? Really? Or are you talking for the DB, Deutsche Bahn? Because, yeah, they're not even on my site, my one site anymore. They've been cleared out. Spy versus Supervillain, Part 3, September 11th. Well, that's a foreboding date for your next episode of your hilarious little movie. Don't mind me, I'm just looking stuff up. Okay, there's that one, there's that one. Because what I never bought when it was the rage is I never got a Vectron. And I'd like to get a Class 193 Vectron. But what I really wanted was the black Miraklin Vectron that actually said Miraklin on it. And now those are not easy to find. But at the time, I was very much in the only trains I ride. Now I've moved into mostly trains I ride, but I like some freight ones too. Ha! I see what you did there, Edward. Not a Coke party. Yeah, for this year, hang on a second, let me pop this over here. Whoops, let's get rid of this picture. Yeah, this is the only Class 66 Miraklin is offering. And, yeah, you can look at the price. That's a hefty price, but it is a big locomotive. That's CFL. But I could get it now if I wanted it, but I don't think I want CFL. Yay, Four Finger Bill is back. Evo, is there a difference in scale size, though? I mean, the UK one, did they make that in 00 scale? I can't believe Miraklin would do that, because that would be a totally different tooling. I assume it was all HO scale. Well, you know, the problem is Bill was a villain, Tim. Four Finger Bill, originally Five Finger Bill, and then became Four Finger Bill. He was a villain, but he was made to be a bit of a schmuck. He was made to be a bit of a moron. Although I tried to put in the sense that it was just misunderstanding everybody's accents, and he did cold-bloodedly blow Bobby the Kid away at the end of Series 1. Spoiler alert for anybody who'd never watched it. He did cold-bloodedly do it, so it's in him. He is a killer. But I want to stay true to who he is. So he's not going to be the vicious, nasty like Bobby the Kid was, or just the cold, calculating that the Kahat was. He's still going to be Bill. But he has been hired to specifically kill. I mean, again, spoiler alert for anybody who never watched Series 2. The extra credit scene, the post-credit scene for Series 2, the finale, the post-credit scene, because you got to do post-credit scenes nowadays. Stanley's team here hires Four Finger Bill to kill Matt Clark. Now, exactly how that's going to plot out, I haven't really thought out yet. I have only been just now starting to think about a plot for Series 3. But I've got a Christmas story to deal with first. And we've already announced that Madame Lot is having a baby by Christmas. So you will meet the sheriff's... I've already got the picture. It's hilarious. You're going to meet the sheriff and Donna Lott's baby during the Christmas special. Matt and Lil are getting married in the Christmas special because that was already told at the end of Series 2. See, Ifo, that's where I love having you here, because that stuff I don't know and you can explain to me. I hope that comes across as sincere as I mean it. That's why I love having you here, because you can explain the differences to me. I love for people who are more into this hobby, know the deeper history, that can explain little things like that to me, because I wouldn't know. And maybe I should be happy in my ignorance, but I like knowing that stuff. Not that I'll remember it in 2 weeks' time. I will neither confirm nor deny that. I will let you in on a little secret. I have not decided whether Bill dies at the end. Like, Bobby the Kid was going to die at the end of episode 1. From the get-go, the good guys always win. If you haven't figured that out, I'm sorry to give you spoilers. In my little world, the good guys always win. The good guys might go through crap, but the white hats walk away victorious at the end. Although, you could say in a way, even though Series 1 ended on a good note, it actually led to bad notes because Matt Clark got his badge pulled going into Series 2. But it ended on a good note. Series 2 started on the bad note where he lost his badge. There's only one thing you should be able to guess is going to happen in Series 3 because it happened in Series 1, the Christmas special, and Series 2. It is now a running gag and shall continue for as long as I do Matt Clark. No, we're working on that one too. There's a few jokes I've got ready to go. It's just filtering them in. But the one thing Series 3 is going to be, it's going to be It's going to be more like series 1. It's going to be a simple, direct plot for the most part. Series 3, I had so many storylines I wanted to do, and what happened is really one of the plots I was going to use in series 3 got mixed in with series 2. And I wound up having, there was the war plot, there was the Kahat storyline, and there was Reverend Saltine. And those were 3 separate storylines that, whether I was insane or very clever creatively, I wound up being able to blend them together into a singular plot that linked. But really, I would have been happier to take at least one of those plots out and saved it as the plot for series 3. The Kahat should have been the main storyline, and then I should have dropped maybe, should have done slightly different, but I wound up blending in the war with the Cleveland tribes as part of the Kahat plot line, and then Reverend Saltine kind of got mixed in with that. Will there be reformed villains? No, but there may be a surprise return of a villain. It's being debated. I haven't even talked to Joyce yet. I'm flipping it over in my head whether somebody is going to make an appearance. But the only reformed villain is Daisy, Little Beaver. And again, I toyed with the idea of having her go bad again, go good. We even talked about having her and the mayor get married, and we decided not to do that because the interplay, the close your ears, kids, the sexual teasing and interplay between the mayor and Daisy is one of my favorite side jokes. You know, in series 1, they were constantly hopping into bed with each other. And in series 2, because of what happened in series 1, she's trying to get him into bed, and he's like, nope, not happening. Not after what you did to me, Daisy. Not happening. I don't trust myself, Daisy. And so that was a complete 180 flip of series 1, but it was still very funny. I don't know how many people, because series 2 was such a much more involved plot, and I don't know how many people caught or enjoyed that interplay, the teasing, as well as the cold joke that everybody keeps seeing Daisy May and going, "You look cold." Everybody's looking at Daisy. Are you cold? It's kind of nipply outside. That running joke. The other great running joke was every time the mayor went to the bar, he had the same ugly waitress, and he would always respond. She'd walk up, "Can I help you, sir?" And he'd go, "Oh my God." Joyce loved the "oh my God" jokes. I've toyed with that being the name of a town, Leslie, so don't jump ahead of me. I toyed with that with being a town. But, you know, the Christmas special, we're going to have Aloysius Dalt, the German toy guy. Which, again, Joyce still giggles every time she sees if we rewatch the Christmas. Because, yes, we actually do rewatch the Matt Clark stuff. Because I'm looking for ideas. I'm looking for inspiration. So we'll occasionally watch reruns. And the Christmas special was a very fun one to make. And Aloysius Dalt, Dalt Books and Toy Store will be reappearing in the Christmas special and probably in Series 3. But I do try, even though you know, there's a lot of sexual jokes, but the sexual jokes are wordplay and let the viewer make of it what they will. You know, there's no blatant over the top, extremely dirty. It's all innuendo, which is also an Italian suppository. It's all innuendo. We're trying to decide, one of the things is we're trying to decide where Smokey and Goliath go from here. You know, there are people who watch the video and don't get the Nellie's Pass joke. They're like, Nellie's Pass. Yeah, Nellie's Pass. Because you have to say it fast. They drove the Black Mamba up Nellie's Pass. You know, there's no dirty joke there unless you hear it. And I've had some viewers, why is Nellie's Pass funny? And they don't catch it. They don't get Cougar's Hole. Or even the whole line, yeah, you know, that you got to go to Paradise City, and to get to Paradise, you got to go through the Cougar's Hole and up Nellie's Pass to get to Paradise. But I can't invent new stuff in that region. That's why Series 2 happened west of Big Gulch. It had to happen a bit west of it so I could create, and there was a lot of jokes that were just on the map that weren't spoken in the line. We had, you know, we had the name of the bluff, and of course every time somebody said the bluff, the general would go, "I'm not bluffing!" But we had all sorts of little place names that you'd have to go look at the map from Series 2 to catch all the joke names. Like there were a couple little rivers, a couple little streams. One was Wet, was W-H-E-T-T, named after a miner, Wet. So you had Wet, it's W-H-E-T-T-S, apostrophe S, Wet's Stream. And then another stream was Jet Stream. So you had Wet Stream and Jet Stream. Well, I don't worry about that. You know, dirty jokes, blatant dirty jokes are easy to make. But wordplay is a love of mine. From Lewis Carroll on down the line, John Lennon, I love wordplay. George Carlin, I love wordplay. I love wordplay. I love situational wordplay. Whether it's pun or just homonyms, homographs, and so forth, where words kind of sound like something else. That's my love. I love that stuff, and Matt Clark is filled with it. But there's also blatant. I mean, if you haven't figured it out, Goliath is a talking horse, but he's also a pansexual BDSM perv. That's not a hidden wordplay bit. He's just out there. Now, he doesn't come out and say it, but he keeps hinting at it until it becomes clear. Like one of the first times he talks, he's like, "Smokey, when you're riding me, would you hit me harder with the riding crop and use your spurs?" And Smokey's like, "Why?" And Goliath goes, "No reason." And then a little later, "Pull on the bridle a bit harder, Smokey. Put that bit in my mouth a bit harder, Smokey." He's constantly dropping all this stuff. He's clearly a complete perv. Indeed. Oh, I've been in. See, the funny thing is, but it would go political, but I have been in Facebook jail a couple of times, but not for anything dirty. It's for calling assholes assholes, and then they get upset by it and report you being mean to them on Facebook. Facebook itself does not come after you. Now, if you mention COVID or something like that, yeah. But otherwise, something has to be flagged by somebody else. YouTube's the same way. If you mention certain things, and yes, YouTube does have a filter. So if you drop the F-bomb so many times in a 1 hour video or a 1.5 hour live stream, and your settings are not at the right level, then yes, Facebook or YouTube will intervene. But everybody's got this, YouTube's out to get us, and it's political, and it's political. No, it isn't. Somebody has to throw a temper tantrum about what you posted for Facebook to intervene. But yes, they do have algorithms that listen for the C word, that listen for cuss words. They just randomly pick it. And if you say it so many times, but as I was telling somebody in a somebody else's live stream, I think it was Artie's live stream, somebody was complaining, yeah, YouTube blocked my video because I took down my video because I said the F word. No, there's a gamer who drops 30 F-bombs every half hour, but he's set to 18 and over. And YouTube leaves him alone. You know, it's not, there's not some YouTube guy going, I'm this political persuasion and I'm going to go after you. Somebody has to flag it. Somebody has to report it. Then YouTube or Facebook intervenes. But they do have devices that pick up using COVID or dropping the F-bombs. And yes, if you link, they pick up the links, and if it's to child porn or something like that, or you talk about child pornography, yeah, it will, those algorithms pick that up. But otherwise, they do leave you alone. I've been banned on Facebook because I went ballistic on a couple of people, usually for political stuff, where they were beyond stupid, and I felt the need to let them know that everybody has a right to be stupid, and they were abusing the privilege. Now, see, that's a word I'm sick of, because I am one of those, quote, snowflakes. But that word snowflake is getting tired. You know, in America, it gets used by one political party against the other political party, and it gets old. Because the one party that's calling everybody else snowflakes is getting offended because something was put in a book, or because Kentucky Fried Chicken said something in a commercial, or because this commercial showed a gay person, or, you know, it's time to bury the term snowflake. Let's bury it. It's an overused silly. We use it to, you know, because a lot of those tough guy macho men are the biggest crybabies when their feelings get hurt. So it's, Facebook is full of human beings, and human beings come in all shapes, sizes, and designs. And so some are going to be touchy and whiny, and it has nothing to do with politics. It's humans. I don't know why people don't understand that social media is going to reflect society. Some people get offended. Some people like to offend. And most people just do their thing and it doesn't get noticed. Yeah, wankers is better. But yeah, they can put in algorithms to detect certain words. But again, most of the stuff we get in trouble for, we probably should have gotten in trouble for. It's no different than, you know, it's not, you know, let's say you're at a bar too drunk and talk too loud. Somebody's going to come in and punch you in the nose if you say the wrong thing at the wrong place. You know. So there, that was my soapbox moment. they're, you know, Facebook, YouTube, they're all capitalistic entities. They want to make money. And anything that might interfere with the cash flow by causing people to quit, they're going to deal with. But that in alone causes people to quit. That's why they try to be, just hands off. It's all on you people. That's YouTube, when they put it all on the creators now. You have to rate your material. You have to. And I can tell you the horror stories Joyce is already bringing home from fellow teachers, like teachers talking about what parents are asking them to do. And it's like, when do you parents do your job? Hey, Andrew, how was your celebration party for your kids? With all their A levels. Evo, I try to be kind everywhere I go. But if the kindness is met with extreme hostility and stupidity, well, then the other side of me, the dark side, comes out. But I am, I tend to be fairly easygoing with most people in public. I think that's showed by the people that met Joyce and me. You know, you can hide stuff maybe on a camera, but even on a live feed, you can't hide it. But, you know, when you go public, people hang around you long enough, they'll see the flip side. Yeah, I mean, the one thing, EFO, that Joyce and I will tell you is we're scientists. We have a mantra in our house: follow the science. And in America, there's especially a strong movement to deny science and to hide from science. That's getting political too, but it shouldn't be. Joyce and I are educators. Ignorance is our enemy. And there's a lot of people who quote stuff that's not true. There's a lot of people that cite the same information, and when you trace back to its source information, because Joyce and I often will trace sources, it's the same bogus documents. Well, so, like I said, we talk anything here. Almost anything. There are certain things I'll kick in the butt right away. But, but even then, you know, YouTube and all their algorithms get so much wrong because YouTube follows my hobbies that I watch videos of, and I get all these ads for stuff that I'm like, wow, YouTube, you do not know me. It's all supposed to be aimed at me based on my interest. And it's like, you do not know me. You are so wrong. That's why I try to explain to all these people about YouTube algorithms and how you got to do this and do that. The YouTube algorithms are very drawn out, but there's human error and very biased information in that human error. Physics is what your life is built around. Good. I loved taking physics in high school and college. I wish my background had been just a little different, because I really love astronomy and physics, but I wasn't introduced to it. I love studying the planets, and I was reading Andrew Hawking stuff and Carl Sagan stuff in the 70s as a preteen and a teen. And I loved that stuff, and I was interested in it. But where I grew up and in my family situation, access to go beyond a couple of books from the library to get more information to say, hey, I'd like to make a career out of this, was really limited. I'm very happy with what I did. I grew up wanting to be a writer, and that's where my biggest love stayed. I became a teacher, and most people said, I just remember going back and visiting my 6th grade teacher when I was getting my degree and told her I was becoming a teacher. She said, oh, we knew you were going to be a teacher. And I really felt insulted by that. I was like, why didn't you tell me? You could have, because at 17, 18, I was actually at 17, I was going into law, and then decided I really didn't want to do law. And then I started at West Point and was debating a career in the military, and then quickly decided I didn't want to do a career in the military. And by that time, my passion for writing had always been there. I always focused on writing. All right, Kieran, take care. I had a great physics teacher in high school. The problem was, I didn't relate to him well until he got into astronomy, our 3rd and 4th quarter. Because that area of science, the physics part, was not a main interest of mine. I mean, I got top marks in all my classes. I was a straight A student all through school. The only time I didn't get an... There's only 2 times in my life I didn't get an A. And they were in college. And the first one was I was in calculus. Now, I took calculus in high school. And my counselor, after I left West Point and was going to Ohio Northern University, the counselor at Ohio Northern University signed me up for a calculus class, and they put me in calculus 163. I should have been in calculus 160. 163 was 3rd semester, or 3rd quarter, because they were on quarters, was 3rd quarter for mathematics majors, engineering majors. In other words, you had to have calculus 161 and 162 to be in 163. And the counselor dropped me in that class. And I had a C at midterm, and I was upset. And I got a D on the midterm exam. And I was really upset. And the dean called me in. And he was talking to me like I was an idiot. You know, I'm looking at your grades here, and he was the dean of the college. He was the dean of the College of Engineering, the calculus teacher. And this was his weeding out courses. 161, 162, 163 is where he weeded out the people that weren't going to make it as engineers. And he's sitting there and he's trying to tell me to get out of the College of Engineering, that I clearly didn't have what it took. And he says, and then he looks at me and says, I don't remember you in 161 and 162. I looked at him and said, I didn't have 161 and 162. He says, well, what other calculus have you had? I said, I had high school calculus, and my counselor put me in here. And he looked at me and said, wait, you have not had one level of college, you haven't had one course of college level calculus, and you're in 163, and you're passing. And I said, well, barely. I got a C, and I just got a D on the midterm exam. And he said, no, you don't belong in this class. And I said, well, I thought I was handling it up to here. And then you lost me. He says, no, I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying you are passing my course, and you missed 2 major sections before it. I thought you were an idiot. And instead, I'm trying to figure out what you are. And I was like, Well, I did get into Mensa at age 17. Okay, I do have a brain. But he went from, you're an idiot, get out of my college, to, he was debating trying to get me back into it and saying, I want you in engineering. But it wasn't my interest. So I finished that course with a C. He gave me a C to be nice. And that was one time I didn't get that course. I didn't get an A because that was just frustrating me. But now I look back and his face made the C worthwhile. And then the other one, I had transferred to the University of Toledo. And my counselor threw me in a nuclear fission, whatever, science class. And again, that's when I decided not to let counselors assign my classes anymore. I just got out the coursework of what I needed to graduate, and I did my own and just had my counselor sign off on it. But I got a C in that class in college and was not happy about it because, again, there were like 3 classes I missed before that one. Hey, the plumber, how are you? Oh, we're down to 21. My ranting and my talking school chased a lot of people off. Well, I think, Leslie, I think we all get those Russian wife ads. I think we all get those. Gay, straight, whatever. Everybody gets the Russian brides. Although those have disappeared since the war in the Ukraine. So apparently they're figuring it. Actually, I do use algebra now and then, Mick. I actually occasionally find myself using algebra. And occasionally using physics. And calculus at times. The one I don't use as often is chemistry, and now I've got a son that I'll let him do the chemistry for me. You do like making water turn into alcohol. Yeah, I just... yeah, I did well in all subjects, but my love was reading and writing. And that's where I always wanted to be, was writing. And then I got a book published 20 years ago, and then it didn't sell any copies, and that kind of ended the writing career. Hark! Maybe this will perk up viewers. What? Well, I was up to 30 at one point, but now we're down to 20. Started talking the YouTube algorithms and stuff and borderline politics, and I think we chased off a few. Yeah, I am the first generation of my family that did no active military service. I did go to the United States Military Academy briefly, but I did not serve in any military action. My dad in Korea, my uncle in World War II, his dad, I had cousins and that, everything from Vietnam to Reagan's little island invasions in the 80s, the various Gulf Wars, other things. But I'm the first one. And then my cousins Dave and Greg, none of us served military. And everybody else in the family saw combat duty. Mixer turns alcohol into water. Well, technically it's not water, but we know what you mean. Oh, Kai is very excited to see you walk past. Are you going to have a seat? What? You will? Well, it's Friday. You don't have to be working on that now. Just this part done. It's always one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. Hey, there is Alan, who's getting addicted to that streaming stuff. You got a dinosaur in your seat right now.
Get out!
Hey, anybody got the directions to Tokyo? I'm hungry. I feel like eating a little Japanese.
Are you showing the price of German locals?
No, I was showing the only Class 66 that Merckman has out right now, because we're talking about Class 66s.
Oh, I thought you were really going to focus on the cost, but, because it's so different.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on. Up!
Nah,
Almost.
Needs to be up. Huh?
Close,
Yeah.
close. Yeah, somebody was already making mountain jokes, if you remember from last week.
Oh, dear.
There you go. Almost too high for you.
Hi, Andrew. Be nice, Tom. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Leslie. Did I miss anybody earlier? I mean, hi to anybody anyway. So, hi, Tom.
Pierre.
Hi, Randall. Hi, Pierre. Happy Valley.
Edward.
Hi, Edward. Oh, sorry if I missed anybody. I'm trying to scroll back and it doesn't want to.
I think you got everybody.
So anyway, yeah, and if I just missed you, I'm sorry, and hi, and be nice, Pierre, but oh well. Hi, Mick. What?
You're an adult?
Yeah, yeah,
You've been adulting today?
I sure have been.
Even when I taught, I didn't adult. That's what got me in trouble at times.
That's probably true.
I was clothed.
Yeah, that wouldn't be an Anthony thing. Okay, I shall look at that later because it's hard to read.
You're doing a 20-kilometer bike ride. That's Joyce's thing. Joyce used to do...
Yeah,
Joyce accomplished the century.
that sounds like fun. And in miles, not kilometers.
Oh, Alan says the Class 66 is now running great. Cool.
Good. That was a problem, I take it.
Yeah, he was working on it this morning, and then I had
Yeah,
to leave.
distance bike ride sounds nice, but I had to sell my good road bike.
Yeah, she did the longest one she did the 100-mile one.
Yeah, 100-mile ride. I did it with my brother, and I told him by where we got awfully close to the end, I said, when my odometer hits 100, I'm stopping. He laughed. He said, really? Yes, I'm going to be done. And
You did 20s and 50s and...
okay, no, whole family's just funny. There's a couple that were 25, and then I did a bunch of 60s.
a bunch of 60s. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, that was kind of default, 60 or 65. And that was never very accurate. As it was, my century ride, my 100-mile ride, I didn't click over 100 till we were in the parking lot. Really worked out well, all things considered. Be walking a while
Somebody
ahead.
miscounted the mileage?
Actually, it was an interesting ride. They were just doing approximately 25-mile courses, and it sent you back to one area, and then you went off on another one. And so that's the one we ended up doing. And
Because did Tom do the Bike Across Iowa one? Because he talked about doing it back in the day.
yeah, but I think it was Charles who did it.
Yeah.
And there were all kinds of problems with it. March West is another Andrew, right?
Yep, that's another Andy.
Yeah, hi, Andrew.
We had a bunch of Andys
Andy,
here.
Andrew. Okay, well, and like I was telling Anthony, this wasn't a single route, although there's definitely 100-mile single routes out there. Just the particular one I did, I thought they were clever because they only had to have one water station. Because you did a basically 25-mile-per-hour ride, and you went back to the main section, got your water and a snack, and then you went off on another one, and that's how we ended up doing the 100 miles. That's pretty cool.
There's another Andy. We have Warwick Road, Andy. Nice to have you.
Hi, Andy. Yep. Trying to think how long our bike trails are. I think we have one that's about 20 and one that's about 30. And then the one that's by our house is 3. They're expanding on it. Oh, Jennifer, stop doing that.
But
She copied someone's post and then marks liked that post. It's super annoying. You see the same post twice. I know.
so anyhow, I could never. I was a sprinter, but could never do long distance running. As a kid, I was a sprinter. I have the gold medals to prove I was the fastest kid in Toledo at ages 11 and 12. Won the gold medals at the Toledo Youth Olympics. 2 years in a row, I won the 100-meter sprint. Never ran for a track team. Never got picked up by a track team because I was always working. I went to work. But I can't do long distance running. The longest I've ever run jogging, I worked up to 3 miles when Joyce and I were younger. I worked up to 3 miles, but I can't do long distance running because I have 1 kidney and 1 adrenal gland, and I run out of adrenaline.
Yeah,
My body can't produce enough to keep up with the long lengths of adrenaline.
Big Anthony here is a sprinter, and sprinters are not distance people. Hi, Joseph. I don't know where I got Miss Toledo, but okay. Yeah.
Hey, Artie.
Yeah, okay, Andy. I won't talk about cycling trips anymore. Lots of Andys, but no feeties. I work with an Andy. Oh, yeah, that would do it, Plumber. That's very discouraging.
We're
when your
on a
back
big
goes out.
lake, but I've only water skied twice in my life. Never surfed. Not really great surfing. Although Joyce's younger brother, Jay,
Hi,
tried
Artie.
windsurfing on the lake.
No, that was Tom.
No, it was Jay.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Jay.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Jay did the briefly, like
Well,
one
that's
summer.
why
of
we
it.
got our kayaks, because
We got our kayaks, yeah.
I wanted to be on a river. I've lived so close to that river my whole life, and I don't even want a I don't want a motorboat.
My athletics
I want to
was
be in the water, in the boats.
baseball, soccer, football, and American football. And then I couldn't play football once. American football. in high school because of the one kidney situation.
Yeah, they decided it'd be a bad idea if he got hit.
Couldn't risk the injury, so that ended my football career.
I played almost everything they'd let me.
Joyce was super athlete.
So basketball and softball were probably my two biggest, and I played volleyball, and I threw stuff at track because I'm not fast.
Yeah, Joyce
And,
was Miss Athlete, but in terms of running,
cross country 1 year.
sloths move faster. Okay, that's an exaggeration.
And really,
Joyce would probably beat a sloth.
hello, Mr. Tennis playing person.
Yes, your speed has increased as you've played tennis over the years. But again, you are 56 running over a tennis court, and you might be faster than when you were 16.
It's a little weird, but I'm in better shape in some ways.
Well, I'm already
Yeah, I think
PO'd
that's
at Liverpool.
That's just totally the. Yeah, I think the water's just where to be. I absolutely love it.
2 straight games of teams they should smoke 4-0, 5-0, and they tied. Because once again, Klopp signs all these forwards, and he's not getting guys on the back line. And even Virgil van Dijk has played badly the first 2 Liverpool games. Both goals, the one that allowed Fulham to tie the game, was his fault. He got a penalty for it, gave up a penalty for it. And then the crappy game against Crystal Palace where the guy broke free and he just stared at the guy going, "Oh, look, you're going in on my goalie alone. Maybe I should have covered you."
Yeah, pickleball is. I think it's really kind of like a fad, but yeah, it's just tennis with a fatter ball and a shorter court.
It's a cross between tennis and ping pong. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Joyce and I have been playing tennis against each other for 39 years.
Wow, that's a canoe trip.
Hey, Damien.
What's this Miss Toledo business? Did I go backwards?
What? Where?
Joseph.
Oh, that's just Joseph, Miss Toledo.
Oh.
But yeah, Joyce was all city in basketball. Now it
I
was.
ended up all city in volleyball too, but it was kind of a fluke.
But
Thank
yeah,
you, Bing.
I played soccer, association football. I played true football back in the 70s when you got beat up for playing it because it was considered a sissy sport in the United States. It wasn't manly like football or basketball or baseball. It wasn't American. But I played defense and was the backup goalkeeper on my teams in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. But baseball, I played the longest, other than tennis with Joyce. And then, I played softball.
As an adult,
I
yeah.
played softball for close to 20 years
You
as
can
an
drink
adult.
the most gin. Well, yeah, when you're doing a tour like that, you are going downstream.
No, I think I mentioned it last stream or maybe 2 streams ago. I got into a drinking contest once. And we'll never do it again.
I think you lost and lost. Is that right?
I came in 2nd
Okay.
or 3rd. I forget if it was 2nd or 3rd.
I thought it was second. Just remembering stories you
Yeah, 2nd.
said. It's been around for a long
It
time.
was a tequila shots contest. I did 35 or 36. The number's never been clarified. It was in college.
Trust me, he couldn't clarify it. Oh, again, I wasn't there at the time. This was before me.
It was right before I met her.
Not
2
much
weeks.
before me. Yeah.
Exactly, 2 weeks before I met her. Almost killed myself.
Yeah.
The guy who won did 50 shots of tequila, but I plead the excuse he was 6'7",
I'd say it was a lot.
530
He was a
pounds.
lot bigger than you.
He was a wrestler from Iowa, but he was at Ohio Northern
Wow,
because
small.
the schools in Iowa he was too big to wrestle. But
Gotcha.
in Ohio, Division
We
3,
had big
we had unlimited
division.
weight.
Wow.
So he was able to wrestle in Ohio. So he came to Ohio Northern to wrestle. But he was 6'7", 520 pounds.
Wow, that's an impressive home run.
I was 6'3" and weighed 220 pounds. So I think I should have won because he was equal to 2 of me.
Based on alcohol per ounce.
No, in softball, I
Nice.
played men's
So
and
it says his roommate flipped him over mercifully so he didn't drown in his vomit.
yeah, I would have died that night if my roommates hadn't flipped me over onto my stomach because I slept on my back. And they flipped me onto my stomach and I spray painted all the walls. I woke up literally in a pool because my pillow was saturated. I woke up in a pool of my own. It was gross. I didn't drink liquor
for
for 20 years after that.
In my high
and I still
school,
don't drink liquor.
High school parties, and Anthony wouldn't even drink a beer.
Yeah, I stopped drinking beer for a
That
good
was fun.
15, 20 years too. I just couldn't drink alcohol. It was so bad.
Yep. He was poisoned.
No, Joyce and I were on a softball team together, and I hit a home run shot that the umpire said he was going to tape measure after the game. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Because he said in his 30 years of umpiring, it was the longest home run he'd ever seen. I had quite a career. I played in leagues everywhere.
He did. I always said he'd shave his head and play for the Hare Krishnas if they had
Yeah, I would shave.
softball team.
You always said I would shave my head and put on robes if the Hare Krishnas had a softball team.
Yep.
Yeah, I won batting titles. In a couple of leagues I had streaks.
Okay, Damien.
I was really good. My 20s and 30s, I was well known in the adult sports leagues in Toledo because I was making up for the years I didn't play in high
Because
school.
I taught him how to hit a ball. I did.
And that's funny because in little league baseball I couldn't hit. I wasn't a very good hitter. I knew the strike zone. I just couldn't connect because nobody ever taught me to hit. Nobody ever sat down and taught me how to watch the pitch and watch the strike zone. You just tried out and the coach expected you to already know how to hit. I made the team for defense. So I sat the bench the first 4 or 5 innings, and then when the team got a big lead, I went into the outfield because our star hitter played center field. And so they would yank him out of the game once we had a big enough
Confusing
lead.
comment as I think of it.
What's
and
that?
Andy, that is exceptionally gross. It was too. Hey, your own super gross. Sitting in somebody else's. Oof.
Yeah, it's but
Die
yeah.
of some disease.
But we used to play basketball against each other all the time. If we played horse, Joyce won. If we played one-on-one, I won.
Well, he's 8 inches taller and has a wider wingspan than I do. And I couldn't get past him. Sadly, being shorter doesn't mean I'm faster. Remember, he was a sprinter. So now it was pretty abysmal.
Seriously, I kid you not. When Joyce was in high school running, there were sloths going, I could beat her. You were slow. You were quick with things, but you were slow.
Huh.
At running, at sprinting. You were not a good sprinter. You did not run well.
I said I did well with
You run better the last
Basketball.
10, 15 years playing tennis than you ever ran
I
in high school.
did well in basketball and volleyball because I had good anticipation of where the ball was going.
You had good anticipation, you were a
Oh, I
good
was a
shooter, and you
smart-
weren't scared
I
to
was
knock
a
somebody under a table.
I was a smart player.
You were a very smart player, but you were also physical.
Yeah, I was.
You were short, although for women at that time you weren't short.
No.
5'7", 5'8", back in the 80s in women's basketball was not short.
Well, my biggest problem is when I was in a junior high, I was like 5'6", and I was tall, but I didn't grow much. By the time I was a senior in high school, I should have been a guard.
Yeah, but you weren't. You were a good ball handler, but you weren't a slick ball handler.
No, I wasn't.
And you weren't quick.
There was a audible gasp anytime I dribbled.
You weren't fast, and that a guard has got to be fast.
Yep.
You have the shooting abilities of a guard.
We're fine, Ellen. It's that memory thing we're trying to remember. So anyway, talk about something else. I think that note said they were just going to do a bunch of masses for Don.
Okay.
Because he was a member of something.
Yippee.
Oh, making the family happy.
Fine.
Indeed.
But that was the funny thing is Joyce was on all the teams in high school. So when we started dating, and I hadn't played baseball in 4 years, Joyce took me to batting cages and showed me things coaches should have showed me 10 years earlier.
Fixed your batting stance. Well,
Fixed my batting stats.
Way before you hit up.
Taught me about
Machine.
reading the pitch and waiting.
Yep.
Stuff my elementary coaches. Like I said, I always made it for defense. Even my dad didn't take me out and teach me how to hit a ball. My dad did the same thing. Threw some pitches, I missed them and yelled at me. No, damn it, do it again!
I might have. No, I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
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 What?
You scraped your leg.
Who knows? I scraped it a couple of days ago, I think. You can
No,
only
you didn't.
play truant.
I sent an email to my parents. I said, all of our specials, so gym, music, and art, are all at 9:05. Your child cannot be late this year. They're going to miss gym.
That's giving them a reason to be late.
Now we're starting differently. We're starting later. And so I get my kids on Monday, and then I take them down to art. No time to do anything, really. First thing. And Mrs. Dodge, let's go.
Hi, Mrs. Dodge, get out of here. Oh, that's right, you got to take them.
Yeah, I have to take them down.
Oh, well, that was my reward last year. My last year as a teacher, they gave me first hour planning.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's where
Nothing like starting the day having nothing to do, and then 7 straight classes nonstop.
I have first hour planning and the first lunch.
Oh.
So,
God.
yeah, we eat brunch. We eat at 11:15. So, bah. Oh.
You're so smart. Why'd you become a teacher?
Oh, I heard that one.
Yeah, we hear that all the time.
I heard that when I was training to be a teacher.
But no, like we were talking about that. We've been playing tennis against each other. We still don't serve well, but man, we play to kill. We play aggressive and competitive tennis.
Mm-hmm.
People come by the park where we're playing, and they'll stop and watch us for a bit, and they'll comment and they'll say stuff like, they'll be facetious like, "Oh, getting ready for Wimbledon, are you?" And then, then they do watch, and they're like, "Do you guys play in tournaments around Toledo?" It's like, no, we don't play well. We play well against each other.
That's about it.
But we play to win. There's even warm-ups have become competitive.
Well, they're not supposed to be.
We're trying to warm up, just get each other's swing going, and she's like, break. I'm over on one side of the court waiting for her to hit it back to me. She hits it the other side. What are you hitting over there?
I can't help it. Just a little competitive.
Just a little competitive. We are competitive.
We start playing and I can't hit it away from them.
And tennis is the one where we're closest.
Yeah.
Tennis is the one where we're closest. Anything that involves running, I win.
Yeah, pretty much.
If we're playing horse and basketball, she wins because she is a better shot than me. The only way I could win at horse is if I can do reverse backhand layups and she can't. But if she gets out there and starts hitting the threes, it's over because I don't have that range. She can go to the free throw line. What's that?
Randall gave you an anime to watch. The Prince of Tennis.
He's always got an anime, man.
Does, yeah.
He's like Evo for anime. Evo's got the train knowledge, and Randall's got there's an anime about tennis.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have been playing tennis against
you watch
each
a lot
other
with Cheyenne.
since we started dating.
Yeah, we were playing before we got married.
Since we started dating. Well, we didn't play right away, but that spring and summer we started playing.
Fairly early, yeah.
We've had some summers off where we didn't play.
Yes. There
Babies.
have been times where we couldn't. Yep.
You were pregnant.
Children and
Knee replacement
life
surgery.
busy and yeah.
But yeah, we get going after each other out tennis, and we are flying around the court.
Yep.
And I was teasing her about being slow because she was, but she's faster now at 56 than she was at 17.
Yeah, I don't know.
She runs more fluid. She's
That run pretty. The short distance along the tennis court, I'm moving pretty well.
she's very quick, and her reflexes are still right up there.
Yeah.
We should film it once.
Oh, she doesn't. Well, she doesn't have to like animate just because she likes Dragon Ball game, but
Well, that's my
okay.
son. My
That's
son
all
wasn't
right.
a big anime fan, but he loved Dragon Ball stuff. Speaking of which, you have a couple of videos that are a month overdue.
I know. I thought tomorrow while you're with Artie, we'll get back at it.
Well, there's a couple you could do, but also there's one I want you to do so I can post it.
Yeah, I know.
We got songs ready to go. I just need Miss Distracted. Fairly. She's had excuses to not, but that's why.
Had a lot in the way.
You know, right when she was trying to do videos, that's when everything went pear-shaped. Or how did the UK say it? Ass over tit? In her family, and that just killed the last 3 weeks. So maybe.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, film a tennis match. I should set the camera up and film us playing tennis.
Where would you put it?
I'd put it on my bike seat in the one corner.
All right.
We could use it for coaching.
You'd find it's a whole lot of hit the net, swear, grab the ball, hit it in the net again,
We have some
swear
great
some
points.
more.
We do have some great points.
Oh, look, there's a good point. Hit it in the net, hit it over the net, you know, and just, yeah.
We have fun. We do have fun, but it is competitive.
Hey, Mick, nice you came in.
Which one's Mick's taking off? Okay. For another drink. Oh, he's not completely leaving. Just for another drink.
Ah, okay, I get it. Sorry, a little off.
We
bicycle racing.
we are competitive, but we do have fun.
Oh,
Well, watch this
so
look.
early, Artie.
Watch this look. She hasn't beaten me in a set in years.
That's not true. I beat you last year.
Did you?
I don't know when. Don't ask me. I just know
I thought
did.
it was 2 years ago.
No, it was last year.
Oh, that's right. You did beat me in a set last year. I lie. She hasn't beaten me this year. She beat me one set last year.
You think I'd get discouraged, but it's just fun.
No, but the last 5 sets, 7 sets were 6-4, 7-5, 7-6, 7-5, 7-6, and then yesterday was 6-3, 6-2.
I was tired, you think? Being at work all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I can't beat him up.
So we had a string there
I was
where
gonna
it
say.
was going to tiebreakers.
Sure was.
But yeah, that's the one thing we still don't serve well. That's the one part of our game that is still, when we serve, it's very much a
Yeah,
just an easy
a
toss up
couple
and
years
plop
ago,
over.
I was trying to really blast it, and my elbow would hurt, so I wasn't doing it correctly, clearly, and I decided I don't like my elbow hurting, so I'll just lop it over. Anyway, that's not the most exciting. Now, Liz and I have been watching on Netflix The Amazing Attorney Woo, and it's set in South Korea, and it's completely subtitled, which is horrible for me because I like multitasking. And anyway, she's on the autism spectrum, and she's a lawyer, so it's a fun, cute series. But they did such a good job with her autism. They just really have many of the mannerisms just down so good. As I looked at met one of my autistic kids, I knew him already, at open house, and he refused to make eye contact.
Yeah.
You know, they got that all right, and it's beautiful to see it done so well.
Yeah, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
They really studied the concept.
He's looking forward to my class, but he won't look at me. I was
Right.
like, understood.
Well, I'm on the lower end of the scale. I'll make eye contact, but I don't. Outside of you and some people, I mean, as a teacher, I had to learn to make eye contact.
What's eye contact? Okay then, Leslie. Hey, darlings, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so.
We're already over 30.
I know you're 31. That's a good number.
It is a good number.
I just went into Lil.
No, that was Daisy.
I was Daisy till the last line.
No, you just did Daisy. You just said you went into Lil. I said you went into Daisy.
All right, whatever.
It was a pretty good Daisy.
I'm getting my girls
Just-
mixed up.
I like getting the girls mixed up.
Well, I have to warm up to it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I was doing the mayor earlier.
Yeah.
Get on with it then.
Hey, you know, if it's
My father was a son-bitch. His daddy was a son-bitch. And his daddy before him was a son-bitch. And my great-great-great-granddaddy was a big son-bitch.
It's all right, Leslie, if it's on a comfort level. Hey, most people kind of look at each other when they talk, but it's okay.
And it depends on the type of eye contact, too. You can get the stink eye going.
Happy Valley helped Randall with the name of an anime. You've got two in here.
Uh-oh. We're going to have to call in Orkin. We've got two of them. They're spreading.
Okay, we need to get rid of the anime lovers.
We don't need to get rid of anybody.
No, we don't. We're teasing. Teasing. Oh, there you go. See, I wasn't ignoring you. I'm looking at you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Artie. It's hard to do something fun when you've had an exhausting, crappy week that was a total nightmare.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, what's dinner tonight? What am I ordering?
I don't know.
Steak Escape?
I suppose we could do that.
That's something Liz eats too.
Yeah, it is.
It's not bad. We could get Marco subs.
She didn't like that.
Sometimes she tolerates it.
No, I don't think so. And she ate at 3:30.
No, she doesn't have to eat with us.
We can ask. Fish and
Indeed.
chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, I'm still over the fish and chips.
I actually,
I
and I
just-
don't like fish,
Yeah.
but I loved English fish and
Oh,
chips.
yeah, they were good. They just didn't stay good.
They were deep fried. I like that. Totally unhealthy, totally good.
Wrong password?
But she didn't like it.
Hot? Oh, where are we hot dog in there? I see you had fish and chips. Go Marvel. There you go.
Yeah, we just watched episode 1
We definitely-
of She-Hulk,
She-Hulk.
last night.
That
Was
was
fun.
cute.
That was cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's bedtime.
I still
Alan. You
laugh.
haven't
I
had
still
dinner?
laugh at that, Alan, when we were at
Yeah,
your
it's
house
nice,
and
good
your wife was
sandwiches.
offering us food, and I just looked at her and said, "You just have cheese and bread," and she just kind of went, yeah, that's all I needed." It was good cheese, though.
We did fine. Bob would be fun.
And then,
Yeah, we have enjoyed the Marvel mini series on Disney. Those have been fun.
Yeah, we found lots of food to enjoy in the UK. You just don't like
I was talking about something
the
else.
most famous fish and chips.
Yeah, no, but other food, yeah, we did fine.
I really like steak and ale pie. I had it 3 times, 2 different versions, because I had the same version twice.
Mrs. Potts chocolate.
Mrs. Potts chocolate cake. Yes,
Matilda
that was
cake,
the
yeah.
Matilda cake. Mrs. Potts chocolate house Matilda cake.
Hi,
Yes,
Jason.
that was. Hey, we have a Jason here.
What's my favorite food? I'm sure Anthony has pinned. I don't like saying favorites of anything. I mean, if I really was being honest, probably cookies. But real food. I don't know. Oh, Leslie, you're on a diet, huh?
It
Ooh,
was
Anthony's.
good. I liked it.
Yeah, ale pie is good. Is good. It was good. It is good.
The only one I didn't have was steak and kidney pie.
Which that would have been alright. I'd have eaten that.
But yeah, we avoided we talked about this before, but there was snacking food.
Yeah.
In Germany, snacking
We
food
had
is
a
more fun.
traditional English breakfast in London.
Yes.
And I really probably liked the baked beans more than anything else on it.
Yeah, I had the bangers and the eggs and the toast and the rashers and
Toast, of
all
course,
that.
is good.
Finally did it. It took us a while, but in London
He got the blood pudding.
and the blood pudding.
That was just too weird. I don't know what was in it.
Well, Disney puts their hands on anything. It was like, oh, what was the one where Disney did it and it just totally destroyed because it wasn't Disney. Yeah, Disney. Disney had a documentary about the Sex Pistols, the punk rock band, the Sex Pistols, based on Mick's book. Oh my God, they PG-13'd it so much, other than a few F words. Like Malcolm McLaren's shop, which was a BDSM and sex shop, they made it look like it was a little grotto closet with a couple of negligees. Like, yeah, none of the leather gear, none of the real heavy duty. It was like that was his. They really just. It was so badly PG-13.
They Disney'd it. Yeah.
Disney.
I think you ate the black pudding, didn't you?
Yes, I ate the black pudding.
Yeah, I didn't want to bite.
It wasn't my favorite thing, but it reminded me of some breads I've had in Germany. The really hard, thick, made bread, because that's what that type of pudding is. It's basically a bread.
Well, okay then. I don't like those in Germany either. So
yeah,
never mind the bullocks and the bangers. Right?
But yeah, I had it, and
yeah, I will, Andy.
But in Germany there's the little doner kebab places. There's the bratwurst places and the French fry places.
Those are the most
everywhere.
Common. Yeah, and there's little kiosks.
Little kiosks everywhere. We didn't see that in the
We
parts
didn't. Yeah, you had to go into
the
a
UK
restaurant.
we were in. It was restaurants.
There are definitely times where it's really nice just to hit a kiosk and you're not in you're not usually in a big line and it's fast food and You get the.
Oh yeah, Disney was in charge of the last 3 movies, episode 7, 8, 9, and they were garbage.
You get the bratwurst in a little bun, and oh, that's good.
Mick.
Yeah.
There's not wrong with black pudding.
Right.
There's not wrong. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was not.
Oh, okay, Andy, that's fine. It was just like, oh, that's nasty. We've seen Spinal Tap, but I don't remember.
And we saw somewhere.
Yeah, no, they're good. Oh, we need to go back and get a Turingerwurst.
Yeah.
And those little mini buns.
Right.
Oh.
No, there was some guy complaining about it.
Schnitzelbiss indeed.
Schnellimbiss. Yep.
Schnellimbiss.
Yeah, we know the imbiss.
Yeah.
But you have all
Yeah,
different types of
Imbiss,
imbiss.
gotcha.
Like in the town of Rotten, which is east of Pirna and Dresden,
Right.
they sold schnitzel sandwiches, Wiener schnitzel sandwiches. Those were amazing.
They were super good.
Yeah.
They put lettuce and tomato on it for me and mayo. It was very, very good.
The schnitzel by itself was good, deep fried schnitzel, and he put cheese on it for me. He had cheese and put it on.
Hey, Ash, would you
Germans
put
don't
cheese on?
understand put
Ash?
cheese
He's like,
on.
yeah. Well, like, nobody puts cheese on their stuff.
But there was a German schnitzel place in York, and we never went to it. And there was one in Edinburgh.
Wow.
We just didn't get to it. They were advertising German
wow, what's wrong with
bratwurst,
us?
not schnitzel, bratwurst.
Gotcha.
And we just didn't get over there.
Yeah, well,
Because the thing is, no matter where we go, we tend to eat a lot of Italian.
we do. Because it's the one ethnic group that we
both
generally
like.
can eat.
You did 5 years in Germany in the Army. Okay. I've spent a year in Germany, but it's all been the month of June. Maybe, all the exchanges, and it's always been in June. So, yeah, about a year and a half in Germany, but it's always been the month of June.
Yeah, we're very... We're
Yeah,
locked
you
in.
probably did. Oh, yeah, Damien, I never did ask you about that because you were going to do some stuff. Didn't you wind up, weren't you going to ride the railjet? Didn't you wind up riding the railjet over there, Damien?
Yeah, you can have too much of anything. Schnitzel's good, but I wouldn't want it every day.
But, I will also go to any place. I will go to any place that makes American-style hamburgers.
Agreed, Pierre.
Like, a couple of people teased us.
Yeah, it is.
Why did you go to England and eat a hamburger? Because I love hamburgers. And it's interesting to see restaurants in the UK or Germany and see how they make an American hamburger.
Ours, yeah.
Now, the hamburgers at the Slug and Lettuce was very good. That was well made.
I had chicken and it was good.
That was very good. And you liked their chicken sandwich. That was very good. And then that was the only...
Well, hi, Jean.
Hey, there's Jean. He was busy.
Okay, then. That's all right.
Yeah, he announced in an earlier chat he was going to be busy today.
Thank you for coming in, though.
Oh, you rode the Swiss high-speed to Zurich.
Okay. Is that a real job?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
The Swiss have their own high-speed. But, yeah, but my biggest thing was, obviously we didn't stay long enough in any one city. 4 days in any city, it's hard to get it. But, we found curiosities. Like, in Edinburgh, 90% of the restaurants we went to did not accept walk-ups. They're like, oh, you have to call.
Yeah, we had a hard time eating in Edinburgh.
Finding places to eat. We always found
Edinburgh.
a place, but so many of the places
Ultimately, we
on
did.
our street. Now, again, we didn't go all over Edinburgh. We were in the tourist area, staying on
Right.
near Princess Street.
Yeah.
So, again, we're not judging the whole thing, but where we were at on Friday and Saturday night, yeah, they were like, you have to call and make a reservation.
Have a bad time
And they
or
weren't
what?
full. They weren't full, but they required...
Well, and we ran, we're stopping at bar and grills, and a lot of them, their grill was closed. And, which, I don't know, it seemed a little early, but anyway, yeah, we finally.
Yeah, like we were looking for
found an
dinner at 8
Italian
o'clock
place.
in a couple places where our grill shut down. We stopped serving full dinners at 8. We're like, 8? Really?
Really?
Now in Germany, it's usually like they'll shut the kitchens down at 10. And you can get what they have, but that's it.
Yeah, Leslie, I understand what you're saying. There were just times in Edinburgh, it just, we were tired or full or whatever it is. We just weren't going to go too far.
Leslie, we do that everywhere we go.
Yeah, we
in
tend
Germany.
to.
We never go to the restaurants on the tourist sections.
No, we don't tend to stay there either.
We don't tend to stay there. But we were definitely in the UK. We were finding it hard to find the small restaurants because we were staying in the tourist areas. And then, like where we were away from the tourist areas, like in Bangor and Cardiff,
Hi, Growler.
there were no restaurants nearby. Hey, Ewan, how are you?
Yeah, we definitely got in pedestrian, where there was nothing. It's like, holy moly, we had to walk back into town. Behave, Pierre. People didn't want to see Anthony. I think they wouldn't come here.
So, yeah, like where we stayed, in Germany, even in neighborhoods, there's a local restaurant within a 5-minute walk. Where we were at in Bangor, you had to walk 10, 15 minutes to find a restaurant. Where we were at in Cardiff, it was about 10 minutes away, and then we found, where we did go get the fish and chips at that one place. That was about 10 minutes west of our place. But otherwise, it was all the chain restaurants and the tourist things.
Good.
But that was, we found a shortcut.
And part of it is just our first time in a place, we just try to feel it out. If we went back to those same areas, we would do better. So,
You had to swipe right.
yeah,
Swipe left on
I
me.
just muted it. So, I think it, okay, they ended. So we do better. Do we eat at Miniature Wonderland? We did once.
We did once in 2019, our last time there.
Yeah.
But
and
we
so-
really ate just a small snack thing off and went to a
really
big dinner
did. Yeah,
later.
Yeah, that's how we handled it, and that's how we would do most things. Is
But yeah, our first time in the UK, we were trying to feel things out, and we were.
anytime you're in a place like where you've paid for admission, the food's going to be super expensive, and so you do that. What's our weather like in Toledo?
Hey, weather woman.
It is 29 degrees Celsius and sunny right now. And there's supposed to be a little warmer with rain tomorrow. And Sunday. More Sunday than tomorrow. We could play tennis in the morning.
Right. Tennis in the
If my
morning.
knees let me, I better take the other stuff. So that's what it's like now. What's it like in the summer? It's usually warm and humid. In the winter, it's cold, and sometimes it snows.
Yeah, and Jean Ricard, that's true. There were a couple of pubs we wanted to go to. Joyce is not a pub person.
Yes, we are temperate.
Joyce is not a pub person.
No,
There
not
was
really.
one right up where we lived in London I wanted to go to. It was called the Artful Dodger.
Just didn't.
And Joyce
Wasn't
just...
feeling it.
But again, we went into a
Seriously,
lot
I
of
just
places
wasn't
looking for
feeling
food.
it.
We went into a lot of places, and also there were places that just didn't serve food that interested us. So we also got to send that caveat out that when we're talking about this, I'm a very picky eater, and Joyce is a much better eater than I am. But
Yeah,
even
but I'm
she,
picky about my things.
she
Yeah.
is picky about some things. And so there were places we went into, like pubs, where we
mean,
just
I
looked
would
at what they had
say
on the menu and said, nah, that doesn't sound
The
good.
best place for just finding food was Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool was Liverpool
Yeah.
was just
And not, they weren't chains. They were small restaurants. Like
Yeah,
that
we
one
found-
where we went around the corner and got the sandwiches.
yeah.
Whatever that was, I forget what we got. And we hit that Italian place twice because it was so good.
Yeah.
And got pizza once and food the other
Well,
time.
What was it called? It wasn't called Crust, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, Crust.
Which is
a little Italian restaurant called Crust.
potentially a chain, but it
Might be a
didn't,
chain,
didn't
but
feel
that
like
was really
one
good
does.
food.
And so we just to go back to we're we have 4 distinct seasons, although you could probably argue 3 because fall and spring are a lot alike.
Yeah, but spring can be 3 days or 3 months.
True. Both spring and fall tend to be rainy and windy.
Have you gotten any rain up there, Alan? Because
Yeah.
you guys are near you were
Oh,
without
you've been
rain
so
for a long
dry.
time. I think Philip Page was talking about like in Wigan they went months without rain. I know Robert where he's at was saying they
horrible.
hadn't had rain in a long time.
It's terrible.
And who's I can't think of
The
it.
only places in the U.S. that are way too dry.
Oh,
The West is so dry. It's not good. Your Spanish girlfriend has one tooth. Juanita? I'm sure that's a joke. I don't get it. Just light showers. That might not be enough for you. Yeah, spring and fall in Canada is 3 weeks. Yep, I can see that. You're the Toronto area, aren't you, Pierre?
no, he's Montreal.
Oh,
Montreal.
of course he is.
The Royal Mountain,
So
Montreal.
you're further north. Oh, that's
North and
great,
east.
Leslie. And horrendous rain in the west of Scotland. So some places are getting it and others aren't.
Well, I know
That's
the
typical.
Wigan area and North Wales area
Yeah,
was
Anthony
struggling.
corrected me, Pierre. I should have known that. Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's around here we seem to, I don't know, we'll get light rain and then nothing for a while, another light rain, nothing for a while, and then 2 inches. And so we are not in a drought at this point,
No.
but
We've had enough rain. We're
we've
not in
been
a
close,
drought.
and then all of a sudden we'll get a 3 or 4 days of very heavy
We've
rain.
actually, other than the massive heat, we've had more rain than we typically get in the summer in terms
do.
of days where it rains.
Probably.
Yeah, we've had nice
although it
heavy
was-
rains at
We
every
have
2
been
weeks.
really wet in June. Last many years, we weren't this year. We got it more in July.
we got more in July, although they
Yeah.
had some big storms while we were in the UK in June, if you
Yeah,
remember.
see, I don't think they did, though.
Liz told us about it, remember?
Well, I don't remember. Okay.
So anyhow, that was but so it's not just that's why we gotta always send that caveat talking about food in the UK is it's also us. We go
Oh,
into a place and
for
we're like, well,
sure.
they've got steak. Oh, but they add this to the steak, and oh, we don't want that. Or they've got this, and oh, we don't want that. So there's always a little bit. So that was, that was. But we certainly did not starve. We found great food. Like
No,
I
we
said, I
didn't
found a
at
little
all.
sandwich shop in York that I would go back to in a heartbeat. That little sandwich shop we stopped off at, where I got the salami and 3 cheese sandwich. That little deli, do you remember?
Was that where?
In York.
Oh, right. Yeah, that corner
It's
deli.
where Lehman Road comes into.
Right.
Um,
Oh, okay. Thank you, honey.
goes
That's what
through
I
the
thought.
city wall.
Lenny gave a June update.
Well, yeah, it's
So
just the
since
2
I
days
thought
you
it was
had
pretty
were
dry.
massive.
They say most of the time when we're gone, it's just rain, 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 rain.
Well, we probably should start doing something about
Yeah, I
dinner.
think we probably should start wrapping it up. Somebody's
Yeah, I've got to
hungry.
run this train in. Well,
And a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch.
yeah, that's more than I had.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping this up because I need to take care of dinner. because
And
we
of
both
course, yeah, it's
we had a rushed lunch because we had to go do the interment for her brother,
it's
and she was at work.
18-hour or 6
She was
o'clock.
at work. I wasn't.
Yeah.
The life.
Which this is our warmest time of the day. You guys are in the evening in the UK, and it's
They're
cooler.
at night.
Yeah. Well, night, yeah.
Sorry, Ewan. I'm going to be mean, but there's no such thing as a nice vegan restaurant. If it doesn't serve meat, I'm not there.
Sure.
I'm a carnivore. I eat meat. I eat meat.
Yeah, 10cc, right. It's a pop band.
Was.
Well, thank you, Alan.
When does her new video come out?
All right, Jean, I will try to do it Sunday.
Out Sunday.
I will try to get it out Sunday.
Right. Out Sunday. You could do it either tonight,
I
because
wanna
you've
do it
already got
tonight.
the basics. Yeah, you could do it tonight.
I wanna
And we
do
could get it
tonight.
out tomorrow.
I'll do it tomorrow.
When are you going to do the video for me?
I don't know. Oh,
When are you going to do that other video for me? No, I'm sorry. Too much information online. Sorry.
oh, Anthony.
Oh, what? Oh, Anthony, what?
You found every food emoji you could, huh?
Indeed. That's why I got to get off here. I'm hungry.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially barbecue down south. That makes sense.
Indeed.
Yep.
Got to cook outside.
Yep. Well,
All right,
thank you,
everybody.
good Edward.
Um,
I hope we entertain.
I hope
Just a little-
we provide
Just a
something.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we're down, but hey, it works. It
Sure
works,
does.
right?
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to say goodnight on behalf of
Yeah, I
the working woman who's on her phone while on live stream.
Choose.
I'll be just saying choose and happy trades, everybody. Take care. We'll
Bye.
see you on somebody's stream somewhere.
Right.
Take care.
Bye.
Swing and a miss. Strike two.